Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi
Wait,
Gaur
these oaks better than mine?
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So this Ekadashi is called Shravan Putrada Ekadashi or Pavitra Pani Ekadashi. It is an Ekadashi that brings auspiciousness, all good fortune, all kinds of wonderful things, and it can even grant the blessing of a child or a son. So we will, of course, hear the glories of this Ekadashi because it's always a wonderful, wonderful benediction to hear the glories of Ekadashi on the day of Ekadashi. And then we'll talk about what else is happening today. So Sri Yudhishthir Maharaj said, O Madhusudan, O killer of the Madhu demon, please be merciful to me and describe to me the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Shravan, July-August. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna replied, Yes, O king, I shall happily narrate its glories to you, for just by hearing about this sacred Ekadashi, one attains the merit of performing a horse sacrifice. At the dawn of Dwapar Yuga, there lived a king by the name of Mahijit, who ruled the kingdom of Mahishmati Puri. Because he had no son, his entire kingdom seemed utterly cheerless to him. A married man who has no son gains no happiness in this life or the next. The Sanskrit word for son is putra. Pu is the name of a particular hell, and tra means to deliver. Thus the word putra means a person who delivers one from the hell named Pu. Therefore, every married man should produce at least one son and train him properly. Then the father will be delivered from a hellish condition of life. But this injunction does not apply to the serious devotees of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, for the Lord becomes their son, father, and mother. And we have heard some practical evidence of this during the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There was one associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu whose name was Srivas Thakur. And Srivas had brothers, children, all the deal. And he would also hold many of the wonderful kirtans of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at his home. And kind of during one of those kirtans, the son of Srivas passed away. And instead of creating a situation where Srivas would have to tell the Lord and his wife would have to tell the Lord, he simply decided, don't say anything, let us continue the kirtan. And finally, after the kirtan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thinking, something doesn't feel correct. Something doesn't feel quite right. And so upon inquiring as to what happened, he found out that the son of Srivas had passed. And during this time, he speaks to Srivas and consoles his entire family, saying, why didn't you tell me? I could have been there for you. I could have done something. Why didn't you tell me? And Srivas was thinking that my service is more important. Somehow or other, oh my Lord, you've become my son, father, brother, everything, my maintainer and my protector. And everyone was thinking, oh Srivas, what will you do after death? Who else will be able to somehow perform all of the rituals that you would need to be performed after death, all of these things? Who will do all of those things for you? And finally, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh Srivas, you should know that myself and Nitai are just like your two sons. We will be affectionate to you just like a son is to the father. Have no worries. We will take care of everything that you have ever needed. So we can see that this injunction is actually true. They are saying that this does not apply to the serious devotees of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, for the Lord becomes their son, father, and mother. So no matter who you have in your life or who you think you don't have in your life, if you have Krishna, you have everyone. Furthermore, Chanakya Pandit says, truth is my mother, knowledge is my father, my occupational duty is my brother, kindness is my friend, tranquility is my wife, and forgiveness is my son. These 6 are my family members. Among the 26 leading qualities of a devotee of the Lord, forgiveness is the topmost. Therefore, devotees should make an extra endeavor to develop this quality. Here Chanakya says, forgiveness is my son, and thus a devotee of the Lord, even though he may be on the path of renunciation, may observe this Ekadasi and pray to attain this kind of son. Oof. For a long time, the king of Mahishmatipuri tried very hard to obtain an heir, but to no avail. Seeing his years advancing ever onwards, King Mahijit became increasingly anxious. One day he told an assembly of his advisors, I have committed no sin in this life, and there is no ill-gotten wealth in my treasury. I have never usurped the offerings to the demigods or Brahmins. When I waged war and conquered kingdoms, I followed the rules and regulations of the military art, and I have protected my subjects as if they were my own children. I punished even my own relatives if they broke the law, and if my enemy was gentle and religious, I welcomed him. O twice-born souls, although I am a religious and faithful follower of the Vedic standards, still my home is without a son. Kindly tell me the reason for this. Hearing this, the king's Brahmin advisors discussed the subject amongst themselves, and with the aim of benefiting the king, they visited the various ashrams of the great sages. At last, they came upon a sage who was austere, pure, and self-satisfied, and who was strictly observing a vow of fasting. His senses were completely under control. He had conquered his anger, and he was expert at performing his occupational duty. Indeed, this great sage was expert in all the conclusions of the Vedas, and he had extended his lifespan to that of Lord Brahma himself. His name was Loma Sarishi, and he knew past, present, and future. After each kalpa passed, 1 hair would fall from his body. 1 kalpa, or 12 hours of Lord Brahma, equals 4,320,000,000 years. So the lifespan of Lord Brahma is about 311 trillion years. And so after each kalpa, 1 hair would fall off the body of Loma Sarishi. And it was said that the end of his lifespan would be reached when all of the hairs would have fallen from his body. All the king's Brahmin advisors very happily approached him one by one to offer their humble respects. Captivated by this great soul, King Mahijit's advisors offered obeisances to him and said very respectfully, Only because of our great good fortune, O sage, have we been allowed to see you. Loma Sarishi saw them, bowing down to him, and replied, Kindly let me know why you have come here, and why you are praising me. I must do all I can to solve your problems, for sages like myself have only one interest, to help others. Do not doubt this. Loma Sarishi had all good qualities because he was a devotee of the Lord. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text 12. In one who has unflinching devotional service to Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no good qualifications because he is engaged by mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. The king's representatives said, We have come to you, O exalted sage, to ask for your help in solving a very serious problem. O sage, you are like Lord Brahma. Indeed, there is no better sage in the entire world. Our king, Mahijit, is without a son, though he has sustained and protected us as if we were his sons. Seeing him so unhappy on account of being sonless, we have become very sad, O sage, and therefore we have entered the forest to perform severe austerities. By our good fortune, we happened upon you. Everyone's desires and activities become successful just by your darshan. Thus we humbly ask that you tell us how our kind king can obtain a son. Hearing their sincere plea, Lama Rishi absorbed himself in deep meditation for a moment, and at once understood the king's previous life. Then he said, "Your ruler was a merchant in his past life, and feeling his wealth insufficient, he committed sinful deeds. He traveled to many villages to trade his goods. Once at noon on the day after the Ekadasi that comes during the light fortnight of the month of Jesht, May-June, he became thirsty while traveling from place to place. He came upon a beautiful pond on the outskirts of a village, but just as he was about to drink at the pond, a cow arrived there with her newborn calf. These two creatures were also very thirsty because of the heat, but when the cow and calf started to drink, the merchant rudely shoved them aside and selfishly slaked his own thirst. This offense against a cow and her calf has resulted in your king's being without a son now. But the good deeds he performed in his previous life have given him rulership over an undisturbed kingdom." Hearing this, the king's advisors replied, "O renowned Rishi, we have heard that the Vedas say one can nullify the effects of one's past sins by acquiring merit. Be so kind as to give us some instruction by which our king's sins can be destroyed. Please give him your mercy so that a prince will take birth in his family." Lama Rishi said, "There is an Ekadasi called Putrada, which comes during the light fortnight of the month of Shravan. On this day, all of you, including your king, should fast and stay awake all night, strictly following the rules and regulations. Then you should give the king whatever merit you gain by this fast. If you follow these instructions of mine, he will surely be blessed with a fine son." All the king's advisors became very pleased to hear these words from Lama Rishi, and they all offered him their grateful obeisances. Then, their eyes bright with happiness, they returned home. When the month of Shravan arrived, the king's advisors remembered the advice of Lama Rishi, and under their direction, all the citizens of Mahishmatipuri, as well as the king, fasted on Ekadasi. And on the next day, Dwadasi, the citizens dutifully offered their accrued merit to him. By the strength of all this merit, the queen became pregnant and eventually gave birth to a most beautiful son. "O Yudhishthir," Lord Krishna concluded, "the Ekadasi that comes during the light fortnight of the month of Shravan has thus rightfully become famous as Putrada, bestower of a son. Whoever desires happiness in this world and the next should certainly fast from all grains and legumes on this holy day. Indeed, whoever simply hears the glories of Putrada Ekadasi becomes completely free of all sins, is blessed with a good son, and surely ascends to heaven after death." Thus ends the narration of the glories of Shravan Shukla Ekadasi, or Putrada Ekadasi, from the Bhavishya Purana. What I really love about these Ekadashis is that these wonderful pastimes show us that what we consider to be praying for material benefit or material comfort or a family or any of these things is not actually, it does not actually go against our spiritual activity. Our relationships with one another are really important, and our families, birth and chosen, can become extremely important within our lives, because who we associate with tends to determine the trajectory of our spiritual path. It starts to determine whether we advance in spiritual life or whether we are decreasing in our spiritual life. And so our association, our families, our friends, the people that we surround ourselves with become incredibly important to how we live our lives, spiritual and material. And so we can see that the king was so desperate for a son, for a child. And not only was the Supreme Lord happy to relate to Yudhishthira Maharaj the glories of this Ekadashi, but he was also happy to relate how an entire kingdom fasting on Ekadashi and giving that merit to the king could change his entire existence. So sometimes we might be thinking, I don't even know what I did in a past life to wind up with this type of life this time. And sometimes we think that all the things that are happening to us are a minor inconvenience. Sometimes we think they're a great, huge inconvenience. But the Lord is showing us that no matter what we did, whether we know what we did or we don't know what we did, Ekadashi comes to benefit us, to somehow mercifully shower our lives with so many incredible blessings. And all we have to do is fast from grains and beans. All we have to do is hear the glories of Ekadashi with faith. We can perform this devotional service of fasting on Ekadashi and depending on the Supreme Personality of Godhead joyfully. We can perform this tapasya, which is not a lot. We can perform it with love, with faith. So we have taken to calling these days gluten-free days to make it more accessible to people at large. And we see that people are often on a detox. People are often trying to clean out their system for one day. And one day every 2 weeks to clean out the system is not a lot. It is a very, very small ask. People have gone on bigger diets for all kinds of things. We have spoken prior about if we were going through a medical procedure and they were to tell us, okay, the day before, you must fast. You have to cleanse out your system, make sure that you eat nothing, drink nothing, and then come in tomorrow and we'll happily perform the procedure. And when it comes down to our health, we are thinking much more seriously about following those instructions. But sometimes when it comes to our spiritual health, we think, I'll do it later. Is that really so important? And the answer is yes. Actually, it's more important. This is our spiritual health, which affects us for lifetimes, past, present, future. This is the tapasya, this is the austerity that gives us all happiness. And it helps us concentrate our minds on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I have spoken last time about how grateful I was to be in a family of people who are constantly helping me to remember Krishna. And my sister and I have decided that we want no Krishna-free spaces. Even when we think we are engaging in some activity that doesn't seem as though it's related to Krishna, my prayer now has been, Krishna, infiltrate my Maya. Infiltrate every other activity that I have and somehow become present there. Somehow or other, become present in my life and don't ever let me forget you. Don't ever let me forget that your mercy is eternally existing within my life. Don't ever let me forget that you are eternally present within my heart, showing up for me day after day, no matter what I think I have going on. And so today is also the beginning of Radha Govinda Julan Yatra. The summer season is incredibly hot in India. And right after summer comes the monsoon season. And it comes with lots and lots and lots of rainfall. And this rainfall now creates a hot and humid situation. And so in order to create a beautiful breeze for Radha and Krishna, their friends make a swing out of the many vines and branches that are present on the trees in Vrindavan. Krishna has a habit of walking through the wonderful forests of Vrindavan with his brother Balaram, whose birthday is coming. And he praises all of Vrindavan forest. She looks as though she's dressed up with many, many flowers. Vrindavan looks incredibly green now, whereas it looked a little bit brown, and the dust was raised in all directions because of the summer heat and the dryness of the atmosphere. Now everything is green and lush. There is dew on all of the trees and in the grass and everywhere. There are fruits everywhere. And so if anyone sees darshan from Vrindavan around this time, the altars are decorated with so many green leaves, fruits like mangoes, all kinds of wonderful flowers start to bloom in all directions. And Srila Prabhupada aptly states that this atmosphere gave such great pleasure to Krishna. And how amazing is it that even the seasons somehow want to give joy to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not only do the seasons want to give joy to Krishna, but Krishna then is so wonderfully reciprocating with everyone. So we see that this Radha Govinda Julan Yatra, all of the friends of Radha and Krishna, as I said, they begin to fashion all kinds of swing from all of the vines and all of the ropes that naturally come from the trees. They decorate it with flowers, and then they sit them on this swing, and they lovingly push them back and forth, creating a breeze. Because sometimes when it's hot and humid, the thing that you want most, you just need a breeze. And sometimes they sprinkle them with rose-scented water, creating a little bit of an AC effect with the mist from this sprinkling of rose-scented water. They then fan them with peacock feather fans and all of the leaves that they've collected in the forest. They sing beautiful songs. Amazing things happen. And Radha and Krishna enjoy an entire swing festival. So if you are at home, you can, within your mind and within your heart, you can place Radha and Krishna on a beautiful swing and enter into this pastime. And if you happen to be somewhere near a temple, this evening, I know at the Bhakti Center, they will be having the Julan Yatra Festival. And at Radha Govinda Mandir, they will also be having a Julan Yatra Festival. And so if you happen to find yourself near a temple in the evening, please go so that you can take part in a wonderful, beautiful festival. And this is the time of year where everyone gets to be from Vrindavan. Everyone gets to be, in effect, a pujari. Because usually, the only people who are engaging in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, who are deities on an altar, are pujaris. They have qualified themselves, had to chant so many different mantras, had to take so many different initiations, all of these different things. And now, we see during Rath Yatra, Jagannath, Sri Krishna, gets on a chariot, goes out into the streets and sees everyone. But now everyone can come into essentially God's living room. And we place God on a swing, and everyone gets to swing them, no matter the age, no matter your background, no matter your color, no matter where you've come from. Everyone comes. They put a little water in your hands so that you can clean your hands, in effect purifying yourself, readying yourself to be able to serve the divine couple. And then everyone can gently pull a rope and swing Radha and Krishna. It's a really adorable festival. And so if you have the opportunity, please take complete and full advantage of this Radha Govinda Julan Yatra. Please take complete advantage of this unprecedented opportunity to be able to serve Radha and Krishna personally. It is unheard of. So we all become inhabitants of Vrindavan when we're able to take part in these pastimes. I was looking for a specific chapter in Krishna book where I wanted to just read the description of what Vrindavan would look like. So this is chapter 21, the Gopis attracted by the flute. And I've always loved the opening lines of this chapter. It seems as though in giving us this summary, Srila Prabhupada has become so poetic. Srimad Bhagavatam becomes so poetic just for us. And I remember really holding on to a few of these lines when I was younger and trying, wanting, desiring to memorize the description of Vrindavan. With the arrival of the beautiful autumn season, the waters in the lakes and rivers became as clear as crystal and filled with fragrant lotus flowers, and breezes blew very pleasantly. At that time, Krishna entered the forest of Vrindavan with the cows and cowherd boys. Krishna was very much pleased with the atmosphere of Vrindavan. Flowers bloomed and bees and drones hummed very jubilantly. While the birds, trees, and plants were all looking very happy, Krishna, tending the cows, and accompanied by Sri Balaram and the cowherd boys, began to vibrate his transcendental flute. After hearing the vibration of the flute of Krishna, the gopis in Vrindavan remembered him and began to talk amongst themselves about how nicely Krishna was playing his flute. When the gopis were describing the sweet vibration of Krishna's flute, they also remembered their pastimes with him. Thus their minds became disturbed, and they were unable to describe completely the beautiful vibration. While discussing the transcendental vibration, they also remembered how Krishna dressed, decorated with a peacock feather on his head, just like a dancing actor, and with blue Karnikara flowers pushed over his ear. His garment glowed yellow gold, and he was garlanded with a Vaijayanti necklace. Dressed in such an attractive way, Krishna filled up the holes of his flute with the nectar emanating from his lips. So they remembered him, entering the forest of Vrindavan, which is always glorified by the footprints of Krishna and his companions. Srila Prabhupada goes on to state that this is the best kind of meditation. And we have Krishna book. Krishna book I love because it is a great story. Sometimes we can feel lost in commentaries and purports when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam as a whole. But with Krishna book, we have a wonderful story, complete with poetry, adventure, victory, danger, romance, all of the best things that we could ever want from the greatest story ever. And we have them all within the pastimes of Shri Krishna. So this is our Julan Yatra festival. Balaram's appearance day is coming up very, very soon, on Monday, in fact. And this Julan Yatra festival culminates on the Purnima, which is Balaram Purnima, Balaram's appearance day. And the elder brother of Lord Balaram is so incredibly important for all of us. He gives us the spiritual strength that is needed to somehow or other continue on with our Krishna consciousness. It is said that Lord Balaram, as the origin of Anantashesh, the wonderful, beautiful snake that Lord Vishnu lays upon, Anantashesh is always speaking the glories and the names and the qualities and the forms and the pastimes of Shri Krishna. And he has unlimited heads. Right? Ananta means unlimited. He has unlimited heads. And all of these unlimited heads are engaged in speaking the glories of Sri Krishna, and he still has not found an end to those names and glories and qualities yet. And so it is said that anyone who speaks about Sri Krishna and tells the glories of Sri Krishna first should pray to Lord Balaram, to Anantashesh. And if one is said to be a great speaker, he should be known as one who is blessed by Anantadev. So this wonderful Anantadev has come as Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram is the elder brother of Sri Krishna. He is the source of all strength. He is the source of all shelter. He is a wonderful abode of good qualities. He is incredibly handsome. He is said to be the manifestation of all of the beauty of the Supreme Person. So can we imagine just how incredibly handsome Lord Balaram is? If we have any problems, Balaram has manifested as all of Vrindavan. He wants to serve his little brother so much that he's manifested as anything. All paraphernalia is said to be a manifestation of Lord Balaram's potency and glory and mercy. So if we have some inclination to serve, we can pray to Lord Balaram to protect our service, to protect us in all regards. We can pray to Lord Balaram to help us somehow develop a yearning, a hunger for service. And Lord Balaram is so kind and so merciful. He's actually incredibly forgiving. And it is said that Lord Balaram takes his mercy even one step further. Krishna takes his mercy one step further and appears as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Lord Balaram takes that mercy, takes the mercy of Krishna, and then takes it one step further and becomes even more merciful than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he appears as Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Nityananda is non-different than Balaram. And in that regard, he is coming and finding all of the living entities, all of us, saying, maybe the holy name has missed a few people. Maybe even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has missed a few people. For any and all of the people that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not speak to, I will personally go and find them. This is the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So when we were talking about forgiveness, being like a child earlier, and thinking about praying to Ekadasi to help us develop the quality of forgiveness, Nityananda Prabhu is the most forgiving. He is known as Akrodha Paramananda, forever blissful, and he never gets angry. He was hit in the head with a pot, as we know famously, and he never got angry. He was so quick and eager to forgive. I need a Lord like that, who is always blissful, forever happy, and always forgiving, because I know I'm going to commit so many mistakes. But Lord Nityananda is there for me, saying, I know what mistakes you're going to commit. No problem. Don't dwell on them. Let it be finished. Now just simply fill your mind and fill your heart with the name of Gauranga. Simply fill your mind and fill your heart with the holy names and the name of Sri Krishna. Simply chant the names of Radha Govinda. Don't worry about anything else. I will forgive everything. So this is the mercy of Nityananda Balaram. This is the best friend that we have in Lord Balaram, the elder brother of Lord Krishna. So if you ever have any problems, there are so many pictures of Krishna Balaram who reside in the temple in Vrindavan. Download one of them and then have a conversation. Pray earnestly. Tell them any of your problems. I promise you, the boys who are the princes of Vrindavan, they will absolutely help you cross over and fix any of those problems. I've seen it. I've done it. I do it often, all the time. Every day it feels like there's a new problem to talk to them about. But the good thing is that means that there are loads of conversations to be had. And I feel as though prayer is the ultimate conversation between our soul and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is our ever well-wishing best friend. Ekadasi Devi ki jai. So this is our Ekadashi and our Julan Yatra festival and our upcoming Balaram Jayanti festival. So please, this is a time where every day there's a reason to celebrate. Celebrate happily. Devotional service is joyfully performed. Be happy at heart. And as Krishna says in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that those who know this, all we have to do is simply worship Krishna with all our hearts.
Thank you, Acyuta Gopi. Wonderful class. And right off the bat, Garanga Leela has her hand up.
Is Julian Yatra only today, or is it other days?
5 days.
5 days?
And within ISKCON, we celebrate it for 5 days, but in other temples, they have been celebrating it since last week. So they start on a day called Hariyali Tej. And Tej is Hariyali it means very, very green. It means like the green is coming. And so because the monsoon season has come and now everything is green, on the third day of the month of Shravan, what they do is they have Hariyali Tej, and on that day is when they decorate all of Vrindavan and all of the greenery. And then they sit the divine couple on a swing. And then they've been swinging since then. But for us within ISKCON, we do it from Ekadashi till Balaram Purnima, so about 5 days.
Thank you.
And then once the festival is over, what happens after that? Everything becomes sad and
I know,
ordinary?
so sad, isn't it? Once the festival is over, per se, what I love is that we have these blocked off days. We say it's 5 days. And then what I find is that in Krishna consciousness, people find loopholes. And in Vrindavan, many, many places, they'll say, well, it's still hot. We can still sit them on the swing. So sometimes they'll choose a special day and they'll still sit Krishna on the swing. And I know in New York, when I was growing up at Radha Govinda Mandir, what we would do is every Sunday until about Radhashtami, we would say, it's very hot, so still let them swing. And so for every Sunday, we would still have them swinging. And so sometimes on Janmashtami, we would let them swing. And on Vyasa Puja, we would still let them swing. And then on Radhashtami, we would let them swing. And then, okay, it's now cooler. So we would end the swing festival. So I really love that because these pastimes are so eternal, devotees with all of the love in their hearts have found little loopholes. And they've said, let them swing some more. What is amazing is in Katwa, that's the place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cut his hair when he took sannyas. They have a very big Mahaprabhu deity that is there. And they put him on a swing. And they swing him. And he winds up looking like he's dancing. Because normally a swing goes back and forth, but this swing goes side to side. And so Mahaprabhu stands and he kind of looks like he's swaying back and forth dancing. And so they have videos. So if you want to, you can kind of just Google Katwa Mahaprabhu and you can see pictures of him on his swing and videos of him on his swing. And they have it on Facebook. And what I like is social media around these times of festival season is a good time to immerse your consciousness because everybody is posting different videos of what's happening in their part of the world. So take a world tour, even while sitting in your home, and see the different festivals that are happening all around the world. It always boosts my spirit. I remember during the pandemic, that was kind of like the only thing that was really holding me together was finding a festival to have every day. So if we want to, we can find a festival at every day. And this is what it means to live in Vrindavan. Whether we are physically within the physical realm of Vrindavan, or we are in the metaphysical realm of Vrindavan, which can be present within our hearts, Vrindavan means every day is a festival. And so we can find a reason for a festival every single day. And Krishna book can help.
Wow. What was that king's name? In Europe, he said, in my kingdom, sun never sets. he conquered left and right all these kingdoms. He subdued them, and so in my case, sun never sets. And then in the city, the festival never ends. The joy never ends. Like you said, it's joyfully performed every day in different parts of the world. And Lord Chaitanya is not going away, right? Somewhere else, manifesting his Leela, delivering souls. That is so wonderful.
And his Leelas manifest here. I mean, every time that we see a Harinam, every time that we have the ability to fast on an Ekadashi, we would not know anything about Ekadashi were it not for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ever expanding mercy and the mercy of so many devotees like Srila Prabhupada. We wouldn't have the ability to have all of these wonderful festivals. And so anytime we take full advantage, this is a manifestation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy in modern day pastimes.
Yeah. Anytime you see a Harinam, you think of Lord Chaitanya. And I'm looking at Adipusha Prabhu. It looks like he's dozing off a little bit. So I'm still thinking of Lord Chaitanya. That's part of the Leela, right? It's not just devotees dancing and throwing their hands in the air. Sometimes it's dozing off. Sometimes it's smiling. Bhima Prabhu is carrying things in his wheelbarrow. That's also Chaitanya Leela.
I feel
Right?
what we see from the exalted devotees, Gaur Govinda Maharaj would say, this is only apparent. Dozing is only apparent. What Srila Prabhupada would say is, this is actually the true samadhi. This is the height of meditation.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. That's samadhi.
Sure. Okay. Adipusha Prabhu, can you say something in glorification of Krishna? What did you see during your samadhi? Was it a good trip?
Such an extraordinary class. It's hard to add anything, but it is wonderful. I can remember as a child swinging on a swing. Right? You said that? Whee! It's such a delightful, simple experience, and to do that as an offering of love to Krishna is so nice. And about dozing, we've taken care of cows for about 4 years of service. And the cows actually, they don't sleep, they sort of doze. They're chewing the cud and they're kind of relaxing and closing their eyes a little bit, but they don't seem to be unconscious. So dozing is an interesting thing. It's kind of like a gentle level of consciousness, not excitement. It's not ferocious anger in Krishna service or sweating, but it's just kind of like thanking Krishna for being with Krishna. It says we come to the class to please the Lord. So we're here. I hope Krishna is pleased by our humble effort. And we benefit, but that's a byproduct. Krishna's pleased that we're here dozing for him.
Absolutely. Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu. Bhima Prabhu, you're driving, so please don't doze off. Don't try that at home. That's only for advanced devotees like Adipusha Prabhu.
One of the secrets of Julan Yatra is that, and I know we've spoken about this before, but I was thinking as Adipurush Prabhu was talking about cows chewing the cud and us always thinking about chewing the chewed. Prahlad Maharaj just talk about chewing that which has already been chewed, and that seems to be our material existence. But when it comes to the pastimes of Shri Krishna, I always find myself saying, I kind of I want to chew over it as many times as I've binged watched whatever it is, and I think, oh, that was such a good movie, I want to go back and watch it again. It's like these pastimes with Krishna, they're so good, I want to go back and do them again. Whenever Kartik ends, I always feel like, oh, does it have to end? I want to go back and I want to do it again. And so Julan Yatra is actually one of Krishna's favorite festivals. And it's Krishna's favorite festival because usually during regular days in Vrindavan, he has to try so many tricks to get Radharani to look favorably at him and to embrace him. During Julan Yatra, he doesn't have to try, because on the swing, all of their friends push them higher and higher and higher, and then all of a sudden Radharani gets so scared that out of her own free will, she embraces Krishna and looks at him favorably and says, "Oh, Krishna, save me," because the swing. So we can all take part in one of Krishna's very own favorite festivals. As we swing them, we can swing them gently, remembering the wonderful service of the gopis who are engaging themselves and helping Radharani look favorably upon Krishna.
Nice, thank you. Like a glimpse of spiritual world. Thank you. Okay, darshan time. Turn on your cameras, please. Put on your best looks. Annabelle, bring Isaiah closer. I want to see him. Shishirana Muralidhar, Shigar Chandra, on the swing. Jai. Okay, welcome to the Afterglow, dear devotees. Is it true that Gopi is still here? There she is. Okay, Grangalila, you have your hand up.
So I was looking at the deities. It feels like in the midst of the green Vrindavan forest, Radha Mulidhar are just like the red lotuses just that just bloomed after the monsoon season.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
What a transcendental vision.
I also want to say that
We have a poet here.
I also want to say something that just take any kind of take the Krishna book, just take any chapter and just fall into it. Just try to get in the flow of the Leela and just be in the Leela. Just try to be in the flow. Just try to melt into it.
Melt into the Leela. Yeah, cool.
It feels good.
Yeah, take a banana, some dates, a cup of milk, offer it to Krishna, and melt into Krishna book. That's what I'm going to do. I'll try that. Okay. Any questions, any comments, please? Yeah, Prashant, show us your banana and the milk.
So I
Okay.
actually have it on Kindle, but I recently saw the hard copy and it was so beautifully binded and put together. I just was like, I need this too. So now I have both.
Jai. Cool. Prashant, you look so happy in Krishna consciousness. Nice. I had a dream yesterday night. I saw Dayal Garanga in my dream. It was such a wonderful dream. He was encouraging me in my service. And in the morning, I was like, finally, I had a dream with devotees and I was doing service in my dream. Because my wife always has dreams about Krishna and I know more shlokas than her. I have better sadhana, but I never have dreams about Krishna. And she's like, oh, I saw Vrindavan. I went to Jagannath Puri. And I was like, where did I go wrong? Why not me? So this morning, I finally saw Dayal Garanga in my dream. He was very serious, Dayal Garanga. So, I was happy. I was finally, I must be doing something right that I saw Dayal Garanga in my dream. Dayal Garanga, if you're watching this, thank you for coming to my dream and encouraging me in my service. Hare Krishna. And anyone wants to say anything, please? I know it's hard when I say things like that, but I'm happy.
actually, it sounded exactly like the way the Brahmanas were talking about their wives when they because they got to go see Krishna. And the Brahmana said, we've been performing so many sacrifices. We have taken so many births, like twice born. We've gotten so many mantras. We do so much sadhana. And then they say, to hell with all of that, because somehow or other Krishna showed up in front of us hungry and we couldn't give him anything. And our wives, who haven't performed any japa, they haven't done any tapasya, they haven't done any of these things, they simply ran to Krishna and they forgot everything. So what is the use of everything that we've done? And then they thought, we should rectify this and we should immediately run to Krishna. But then what they did was, they said, because their wives had just come back from giving Krishna and Balaram all of their foodstuffs, they said, we now accept our wives as our gurus because we have somehow gotten the darshan. We've been able to see someone who is just so in love with Krishna. So now we accept them as our gurus. And that actually was the perfection of their lives. So, moral of your story, Ananda, is you just have to accept your wife as your guru. And then maybe you can have more
Right.
dreams about devotees.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it. I just have to wait till she wakes up, and then immediately I'll accept her as my guru. Yeah, cool. All right. Anyone wants to say anything in line with Guru Sadhan Shastra, of course.
Can anybody please pray for me to help me chant the japa? I keep losing the taste.
You're losing taste?
Yes.
No, it's Krishna. Krishna is playing tricks on you.
No, I couldn't chant these days. I didn't have the
Garanga Leela,
yes.
Haribol.
Yes. River.
when you lose taste, that's a blessing. That's Krishna saying, come on, come on. You know, when you're sitting there, when someone's sitting there in bliss, ecstatic that they're chanting the name, that's where they stay. But when you are sincerely trying, and they say, Rupa Goswami says, loba is what we need. Loba is greed, is yearning. Yearning is what we need to grow in Krishna consciousness. We can do all the Ekadasis we want. Got to be honest. All the Ekadasis you want, you can perform all the tapasya you want. Now, of course, our yearning manifests itself in doing those things, and our yearning manifests itself in, even though we might not be getting a reciprocation, we keep going. The gopis might not see Krishna while they're running through the woods in the dark. And they might also be thinking while they're running, now I've left my life behind. You know, now I can't go back to the village. But they don't have Krishna yet. They're not in Krishna's presence yet. They're not tasting the name of Krishna. They're not seeing Krishna's form. But they do hear the flute. And that's what Bhagavatam class is. That's the flute, Krishna calling you. So he's saying he's watching you and he's standing off from you and he's not giving you any taste because he wants to see, how does she really want to know me? What is she willing to do? Is she willing to quell her mind and quell her thoughts and concentrate solely on me, even though I'm not there? That's what Vipralamba Seva is, service and separation. Your chanting is your service, and you're separated from Krishna because he's not given anything back to you. So he's saying, are you willing to go it alone? Because ultimately, especially at the time of death, you are going to be going it alone. So just keep on trucking, keep on trying. No pain, no gain. Hare Krishna.
You've been so sober lately, Bhima Prabhu. Such heavy instructions. But thank you. Garangalila will not be alone at the crucial moment. She'll be with Krishna and devotees in Kirtan. And, right? We're never alone when it comes to Krishna.
Is it spiritual greed?
Yeah. I haven't heard many devotees say, oh, I actually have taste for chanting, by the way, just in case. Acyuta Gopi, is that a right sentiment? Can we say like that? Can we brag like that? I have taste. I've never heard that. I didn't hear that much. That I have taste. But on the other hand, we're supposed to have taste. How do we go about this?
I think it's always acknowledging that we are in the process of developing. And even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when the devotees would tell him, you love Krishna with all your heart, he says, no, don't say that I love Krishna, because had I loved Krishna, I would not be able to continue my life in separation from him. Somehow or other, the fact that I'm still living and still going about my life in the absence of the Lord of my life, the very treasure of my life, just shows that I don't love Krishna as much as I want. So the desire to love Krishna as much as we want is as unlimited as Krishna is. So that desire is going to be ever increasing. So that hunger is going to be forever increasing. And Krishna's yearning to reciprocate with us is also ever increasing. And that's what they say about devotional service. It is a transcendental competition where there is never a clear winner, because this love is so deep that there's always something new to be uncovered. There's always some more to grasp. So usually we do see that devotees are always hankering for that taste for chanting the holy name, but there are some signs that we are somehow developing, that we are getting some kind of it, taste. And
yeah, sometimes it's very tangible. You
Yeah,
chant and you
what we
feel it
feel is,
sometimes.
I had it and then it was gone. But that's Krishna's whole plot, isn't it? He says, sometimes they have it and then I hide it a little bit. Because then the person becomes so obsessed with thinking of me that they can think of nothing else. They become like a man who has gotten wealth and then lost all of that wealth. They can think of nothing else. They're trying to find it everywhere. Well, where was that taste? I remember that one day. One day I had chanted Japa and it felt so amazing. Now I'm looking for that feeling everywhere. And I'm constantly chanting in pursuit of that feeling again. And so Sachinandan Maharaj has given so many Japa immersions, and I really do feel like he is the king of Japa immersions. So if you are looking to find some taste, because I also have asked Namprabhu, you are a person. I can't say that if I'm chanting, I'm alone, because then that would somehow or other completely negate your presence when I'm chanting. And I can't do that because you're my best friend. So now what do? I try and find people who I feel have taste. And then I run after them and try to figure out what they have, what their secrets are. And the people who have taste for chanting the holy name are usually very happy to share their secrets. Sachinandan Maharaj is so happy to share all of his findings. He has dived into the treasure trove and the ocean of the holy name, where there are jewels deep at the bottom, and then he's gone and found all of these jewels, and he's more than happy to say, look what I have for you. Look what I found for you this day. Gaur Govinda Maharaj has said the holy name is everything. Somehow or other, there are so many secrets and adventures hidden within this simple Mahamantra. Radha and Krishna and all of their pastimes are hidden somehow within this Mahamantra. And if we only chant that, they will be more than happy to reveal everything to us. And so I like you, Gaurangalila, like you, I am also constantly waiting for the day where I will have so much taste for the holy name that I'll think, no, my japa's never finished. My japa's never finished because I don't ever get tired of drinking the nectar that is inherent in the holy name. I don't ever get tired of binge chanting the holy name. I think about all of the hours that I spend in so many times and so many other things, and then sometime I'm like, I don't know, I only have these couple of hours for my japa. I want to get to the point where I don't feel like that. Where I feel as though, as Rupa Goswami is saying, when I chant these holy names, I don't know how much nectar is inherent in the two syllables Krishna. But then when I chant it, I desire millions of ears to hear it. I desire millions of tongues in order to chant it. And then when it enters into the courtyard of my heart, it completely takes over all of my senses. And I'm inherently drawn more and more to the mercy of Shri Krishna. And so I think that reading Krishna book, reading Nectar of Devotion, and running after those people who we think we've seen have some sort of taste, it will help their infectious nature somehow rub off on us.
Wow, thank you. That was so hopeful, hope giving.
Gaurangalila, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. We're trying to please Krishna. And Krishna sees that you're longing to please him. So in that one sense, it's already perfect. Yesterday, we went in a little grocery store, and there was a tiny little Indian man behind the counter. And I said, Hare Krishna. He said, oh, yeah, did you say Hare Krishna? I said, yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. He called his brother, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I was like, my God. You know, he said, where's the temple? We want to come. And he's holding his hands up and Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Can I come to the temple? Where's the temple? What's the address? I was like, wow. I mean, I'm sure Krishna was pleased by his longing to be with devotees and to chant. It was amazing. I'm kind of dull. I don't really have all that juice, but you do. I'm sure Krishna's smiling with a big smile. Okay, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Okay, Acyuta Gopi, any final lines, closing remarks? I mean, Srimad Bhagavatam class never ends, like festival, like Japa. It's all ever increasing, but we need to wrap it up for today and go practice what we learned. So please instruct us before we go.
I say, dive into Krishna book, dive into the songs of our Vaishnava acharyas, and as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, just fill your mouths, fill your minds, fill your lives with the nectar of the names of Shri Radha Madhava, Radha Govinda, Shri Radha Muralidhara ki jai.
Angel, are you in here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Where's Da?
All right, this was a perfect ending. Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu. You're so naughty. Okay, and Anandi and Donald, are you celebrating your anniversary today, Anandi?
Naughty?
Yes, but I have one thing to say about what you all were talking about. One of the things I found most effective in remembering the name is when people chant. In India, for instance, they chant for 7 days and 7 nights, like all through, it's called a sapta. And when you're engaged in that, there comes a point where the name just is in you. You know, you just hear it automatically. So more long chants. I know you guys are having 6-hour chants, but slowly, longer chants. It's very effective. Yeah, it is.
Say that
This I
again.
will remember.
I can't hear you.
She said slower chant.
No, I mean longer. Saptas,
slower,
longer chants. Longer. I mean, if you're doing a seva, in an ashram setting and people are chanting, I mean day and night, not sleeping. You're doing the dishes, you're doing your seva. Wherever you go, you're hearing people chant. It's so beautiful. So longer chants. I know you're starting with the 6-hour chants, but slowly have 12-hour chants. Slowly have 16-hour chants, and then go work up to sapta, 7 days, 7 nights. So effective. You won't have to
This-
struggle. You'll just
This is
the name
graduate
just-
This is
Yes.
graduate studies, and here I am sitting in kindergarten.
It's okay, Bhima Prabhu. You can still sit. That's fine. We'll give you something to play with. We'll put you in the back.
And then to end, like Acyuta Gopi said one time, on Ekadasi, we can pray for each other and dedicate the merits for each other. So it would have been my 50th wedding anniversary. So let's just pray for each other.
Thank you, Anandi. Thank you very much. Pray for us. We're praying for you. Dear devotees,
Yes.
please pray for Anandi and Donald. It's their 50th anniversary today. And Anandi is here in the morning class, glorifying Krishna, Ekadasi Devi, encouraging devotees on their path. This is perfection. Anandi, thank you so much. Thank you, Acyuta Gopi. Thank you, Bhima, Grangalila, Prashant, Adi, Angel, Krishna Gauda. Good morning, Krishna Gauda. Annabelle, Isaiah, Karen, Venisha, and Whiskey, Siham, Yogeshwari, Amita Kishori, India, Dana, Krishna's Radharani, Sharmila, Neha, all the YouTube people, we love you, we need you. Happy Ekadashi. Hare Krishna.